Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gateless Live webinar. We're excited that you're here, and I'm telling you, you're going to need to fasten your seatbelt today because we have a whirlwind that's about to invade our space. Hey, let me just start it off by saying, hi, Lauren, how are you?
Hi, doing well, thank you. How are you?
Told you you were going to be excited. I love this, so you can already feel the enthusiasm in your voice. Lauren and
Yes.
I met yesterday and we talked a little bit. And one of the things when I hung up the phone, I went, oh, yeah, I'm so excited. So I'm really excited that you guys are here. So Lauren Wynn is in the St. Louis, Missouri market, which, as we were talking about yesterday, is one of the weirdest markets for real estate in the world. So we're going to talk about how she's adapted to that. Lauren is a Keller Williams agent, but she's also got this really cool a company that she calls Lux Life Real Estate that we'll get into. So Lauren, again, I'm excited about you. So as we talked about yesterday, I want everybody to hear your story. So let's talk about how you got in the business and why you are where you are now.
Sure, I would love to. So a little bit more about me. I'm born and raised, always lived in St. Louis my entire life. And I am a millennial. So I went to college. I went to University of Missouri, Mizzou, graduated in 2007, which was the very peak of the recession. So at that time, I studied history and I studied communications, and I really went to focus on public relations or marketing. So whenever I graduated, the job market was quite slim. I am a third generation realtor. Both my mother's side of the family and my father's side are all realtors. They mostly all do commercial. So my parents encouraged me, go ahead and get your real estate license. Might be something good to have. So I was like, sure, whatever. So that fall, I earned my real estate license right away. Had no intention of really doing much with it. Just thought maybe I'd keep it as a little side hobby thing. And also started grad school for on my master's degree in marketing, PR, and advertising. So got into it. First year was a little bit of a struggle. And then after about a year, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get into new construction. So by getting into new construction, I actually was able to learn the skill set and a ton of sales techniques and all of that kind of thing that I still apply and implement today. So I joined one of the top local home builders in the area, and they put me in a community that was quite challenging. So it was in an area, southern part of the St. Louis greater area, and the previous salesperson had only sold 2 condominiums in this neighborhood in 6 months. That's it. This was talking about 2008, 2009. So we're still in the recession. We're still going down. So during that time frame, it was a challenge, but I'm always up for a challenge, and I think that's what kind of makes me resilient. So you knock me down, I'll come back even stronger. So what I did was I realized that the traffic was quite slow. So I applied my knowledge and everything that I learned over the years in school in marketing, public relations, advertising. I needed to study my demographic in order to drive my own traffic to the neighborhood. So
Mm-hmm.
rather than your traditional new home salesperson who sits and kind of waits for the traffic to come in, waits for the builder to bring it, I decided to start funneling traffic myself. So I did this in all kinds of various ways. By studying the demographic, I realized that there were numerous pet owners in this condominium community already. So I had these lavish pet parties and pet expos and invited all of the local groomers and veterinarians and everything. We had a pet parade. So I really tried to be grassroots and get in with the local community, because by doing that, that drove interest and excitement to the neighborhood. And by doing that, it brought me more traffic because people were like, what a great condo neighborhood. And they're brand new condos that this gal was selling, and it's so awesome and fun. And so events were really my trademark start in the industry. So I'm proud to say after the 9 months there, I sold 64 condos or 64 contracts in 9 months. And the previous one had only done 2 condo sales in 6 months.
That's unbelievable.
Yes.
So I want to go back to your background of marketing. We're going to explore the millennial thing. We're going to get into your marketing background. We're going to get into the events for sure before we even get into the niche. But what I want to talk about is your marketing background. What I learned about you in spending a little time with you yesterday and researching your capabilities is that marketing background is pretty much in about everything you do, right?
Yes, branding, marketing, it's all everything. So image it's entirely what people think of, and it's their first impression.
Got it. All right, let's talk about being a millennial. Millennials are the fastest growing demographic of home buyers in America right now.
Yes.
A lot of first time home buyers. So what's your approach to taking I need technology, but I need Lauren's brain too. So what's your approach to attacking the millennial market?
So the millennials, a lot of times they want to do whatever they want to do on their own. So they are very technology driven. They're instant gratification, like we want it now. So I mean, and I myself can relate to that. I don't want to sit around and wait for something. I'm not really personally the type of person who price shops a lot of things. I see it and I want to go out and get it. So a lot of times they're like that too. So in order to really bond with them and do well, we have to show them exceptional customer service. And we really have to help them understand their need for us. So one of the best things that my team and I do with the millennial buyers, and we do this with all of our clients, is we have a buyer consultation. So this is our first initial step. We want to get in front of them and we want to show them our value. So rather than just talking to them on the phone and sure, I'll meet you at 123 Main Street to show you this house, we actually want to get in front of them and actually listen to them and ask the questions, ask how they want to be communicated with, ask when they want to go see houses and everything that they're looking for. Availability is huge. So we always want to have as much availability as possible. So the beneficial thing too with my team is we have a team concept. We have a lead buyer specialist and many other buyer specialists. And we even have one person who is a showing specialist on our team because we always want to have someone available at all times to help them out.
That's amazing. So I love the fact that you sit down with the buyer. That question of what's important about buying this home to you is so critical. And I think it's a lot of times we're so caught up in trying to get them to show them a house that we forget about. We ought to make sure that we're understanding everything there is to understand about the client.
Absolutely. And you also want to ask them, one of the biggest, most important questions to ask the millennial buyer is, who are all the decision makers? Because a lot of times these millennials are very driven by their parents. They might be getting a gift loan from their parents. They might have a best friend or family member or brother or sister or sibling who is very influential in making this decision with them. So we want to make sure that all decision makers are present. Or who's going to be house hunting with you? Is it just going to be you by yourself? Is it going to be your boyfriend? Is it going to be your mother, father? So then we know where to direct our focus and how to cater to that.
Oh, I love that. This is such a great approach. Now, you also have you've got St. Louis really covered, right? You've got several people throughout the St. Louis market. Tell us how you cover that.
Sure. Okay, so St. Louis as a whole, we are a pretty big city. We have, I believe it's about 93 municipalities, something like that. It is wild. And we have so many different counties that we cover too as a whole. So the nice thing about my team and I, so personally, I've grown up here my whole life. My family did move around a lot. So I have gotten to experience different areas of the St. Louis area too. But also my team caters to it because we have people geographically who live in all different areas of the city. Therefore, we have someone who specializes in out west. Therefore, whenever we have one of our clients who might be relocation in from out of town, we're going to most likely pair them with that person because that is their main focus and they're excellent at that. And they focus all those Western school districts and those geographic areas, and they might know rural land a little bit better too. Likewise with somebody who's focusing up north or down south. So we really like to target and focus that so we really know the whole area. You never want to be the realtor who's a jack of all trades. And what I've learned over the years is everyone focuses on their one thing best. And whenever you focus on your one thing, then you get really, really great at it. So that's Gary Keller's book, The One Thing, is awesome. I highly recommend it to anybody to read too if you haven't yet.
Right. So when you talk about, the thing is, I love on your website, it says a new fashion of real estate. You're still doing a lot of the basic stuff that we all learned as getting in the business, right? How you built your business by going out and marketing, going out and doing the things, working with buyers, developing trust. You're still doing all those things, right?
Yes, absolutely. The thing is I really don't believe I sell real estate. And I fought it for a long time that I was in sales because, again, coming from a background and being a millennial, I always wanted to service people and help people. And I was always very philanthropic. And I always thought that I don't want to be a salesperson. That sounds cheesy. That doesn't sound like me. It doesn't sound like helping other people. So I always wanted to do the marketing, the communications, and the PR. But instead, what I've come to realize over the years is I'm not really in real estate. I'm not really in sales. I'm actually in the relationship business. So it's absolutely all about building those relationships with people over the years. I cannot tell you how amazing the feeling is when you help the same family numerous times. And then you're coming over and you're seeing their baby who's in the car seat when you first met them is now 10 years old, and all this and that, and you just helped mom last summer, and then you're helping the best friend too. So I know just over the years, it's just the most wonderful feeling, and it's just, I really love what we do every single day. So it's awesome.
I love that. So I'm just going to give you guys some stats real quick. Lauren and her team closed more than 36 million. My goodness, that's 2017. 2018, you're on pace to do 210 and more than 50 million. Yes. 210 units. That's a lot of business. How do you pull this off, right? So kind of get into the day-to-day operation of how everything works.
Sure, absolutely. So again, you cannot do this alone. Everyone focuses on their one thing. And back whenever I started my career, I tried to do everything myself. I was trying to do listings and do the marketing piece and the helping buyers and transaction coordination, everything. But over the years, I realized that I cannot do it all alone, that I have to delegate and service out to others. Therefore, my very first hire was an assistant. So an administrative assistant is going to do you the best service rather than jumping and hiring that buyer specialist first, because that admin is going to help offload all that paperwork and behind the scenes. And then you can focus on what you do best, being the frontliner and actually working with the people and doing the sales side of things. So definitely the instrumental part of it is just having that team collaboration and having the right people in place on your bus is so important. So my team, we have 10 full-time licensed agents and 1 part-time team member. 5 of us are admins, and then we have 6 salespeople. So with that all together, I'm the team leader, so I focus on the daily operations of leading the team, coaching, doing all that, as well as I'm the listing specialist. So I focus exclusively on working with sellers, listing their homes, pricing them appropriately, and getting them sold quickly. Our average day in market is 5 days on market, which I'm very proud of. Average in our area is about 45, 47. So that's a pretty good stat that we have that we're pretty proud about. And then we have our buyer specialist team. So we have a lead buyer specialist who helps oversee them. And then we have our 3 buyer specialists. And then we have, in addition to that, and then we have the showing specialist who also helps leverage with the showings and open houses and things like that too. The admin portion of our team is the operations part. I have the most amazing director of operations, and she literally reels it all in, and she helps manage everybody on the operations side. So she helps manage a transaction coordinator who focuses exclusively on transaction to close. We have a marketing department, and we also have our listing manager too. So everybody is so amazing on our team. We create this awesome team culture. So I know we couldn't do it without all of them. So all about the right people and treating them really well so they stick around forever, hopefully.
Got it. And when you have that team, I mean, you started obviously as turning, 2 sales in 6 months to 64 sales at a new construction place in 9 months. I mean, you obviously, connect really well with people. I know that your team members are an extension of you. How do you work with your team? What do you do as far as to make sure that you're developing and everybody is being that extension of you when they're out meeting those clients?
That's a great question. What I like to do is I like to be very democratic with my team. So I don't like to be the person who's literally calling all the shots and you're doing it my way or the highway. However, we do have very good standards in place. So customer service is definitely key in our number 1. So everyone on our team understands that and focuses very highly on that. The thing that we do is we like to collaborate and get together. We have weekly team meetings, and then once a month, we have a business planning out of the office for at least 5 hours, sometimes longer, where we get together and we strategize on things that we can do to make our business even bigger and better and soar and service people even more efficiently. So I think that's really important. I know on the customer service side with our operations team, let's just say, something comes up that we've never seen before. And this happens quite frequently. It does. What we like to do is we like to look at all angles of the situation, analyze it, and figure out, okay, maybe we need to add that to our checklist now in case that happens in the future, or how can we best approach it? So we're all about, I really like everyone to have their own ownership and investment in the business. And I feel like everyone is understanding what we've got as the main focus. And everybody on my team, I believe, is a true empire builder, which is what we're obviously seeking in the future. So, and team culture is so big too. So whenever you build that team culture in, it's just endless.
Yeah, that is so important. All right, so let's get into some nitty gritty here. Let's talk about how you handle the Zillow leads, how you handle the website inquiries, the people that want to buy houses at 10 o'clock at night. What's your approach to the craziness of the market now, especially with millennials?
Sure, absolutely. So on a technical standpoint, what we like to do is we have something called a money phone, or we call it our lead line, our cell phone. It's an extra cell phone that the team provides. And what we do is we delegate it to each buyer specialist gets an opportunity with it for about a week at a time. Sometimes they might have a family obligation or something, so they can't do it for 2 of the 7 days or so, but we pass it around to them. And then that person is in charge of taking all the phone calls, all the email inquiries, and everything that comes in from that. So it's a really great tool. And then it's nice too, because then we don't have the same lead going to 3 people on the team, or we don't have, a situation where someone is not available to take it. So we really like to utilize that lead line, and then one person has that for that time being. So that's really big. Yeah, and whenever we follow up, we try to follow up within 5 minutes or less of every single inquiry. That's huge because, again, instant gratification of the millennials, they want an answer right then and there. So we want to be able to provide that to them. Another huge thing is,
go ahead.
Okay, just equipping my team with the right scripts is so great, because whenever someone calls and unfortunately that property is unavailable, we want to actually be able to help them find something else. And what are you looking for? And where are you searching? And how can we best serve you? So we never want to just say, oh, no, that property is not available. Goodbye, thanks for calling. We actually want to try to capitalize and get them and put them in our downline and move on from there.
Right. Lead conversion's huge. I mean, I love the fact, and we'll get into scripting in just a minute, but I want to go back to what you said with, following up within 5 minutes. I love this lead line concept. It's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that happens with that is that, you got to remember that millennials, it takes them a long time. And having 2 millennial age daughters, I get this. It takes them a long time to make the decision, but when they make it, they want to go, right?
Right, they do. They're ready. They're like, oh, I want to see this house right now. When can you show it to me? Yep.
All right. I love the fact that you have your agent scripted on lead conversion, because you're right. And a lot of times they call up on a listing that's expired, or that listing that's already been sold, or whatever. So you have a way to convert those people into somebody that wants to work with you, or that agent that's on the phone. What are some of those scripts that you use? I'm putting you on the spot here, but I love this.
Sure. It's all about question asking. So we were actually just utilizing some scripts yesterday in a seminar training I was in. So it's all about asking those probing questions and those lead on questions. So how long have you been searching? Where are you searching? Is this your first home? Let's see. There's so many more. I'm trying to think. You want to ask them something that is going to get them to further elaborate. It's not just going to be simply a yes or no answer. Like, what type of style are you interested in? Have you considered new construction? You want to ask them all these different things. What's your time frame? What is your price point? Have you talked to a lender yet? Are you pre-approved yet? That is one of the biggest ones too, because you definitely want to pair them with your mortgage partner to make sure that they can get pre-approved right away. And then it's just that extra level of service you're providing for them that you're invested into, putting them in touch with a lender right away. So all these questions are super important for sure. Do they have a home to sell? Do they know a realtor? Are they working with someone? All of those questions are fantastic.
All right, so let's also talk about the fact that, when you were discussing and talking with them, and obviously I put you on the spot there for those scripts, and thank you very much. But now that you brought it up, being with Guaranteed Rate, let's talk about your lending partner. I mean, Tracy does a really good job for you, but you guys are kind of a team approach. And so how do you manage those people that are there to support you?
Sure. Tracy's been very instrumental within my career from the very beginning. Whenever I was newer in the industry, I didn't really know a ton of stuff at all about this. So she really helped me throughout that whole method. I know early on, we started with different programs like HBM, home scouting report and all of that. And if it's followed, if you really focus on it, it is a great tool and it can exponentially grow your business. So Tracy and I have fantastic scripts together on cross-selling each other. Whenever you have a mortgage partner, you want to have somebody who's going to have your back and will cross-sell you to people. So, and it really, really helps with that. So I'm going to tell them about Tracy and how fantastic she is and all these people she's worked with over the years and how she has very creative strategies. And then vice versa, she's going to tell them, you're working with Laura and her team. They're some of the top in the industry. Did you know how quickly they sold, my last couple clients' houses? They sell them so quickly, and they offer full staging for every single client, and one of the best photographers. She just goes in a whole spiel too. So the availability, they're always available. So, it's all about cross-selling and having that good relationship with the mortgage partner. You definitely want to have that investedness into each other because, it's kind of like a marriage whenever you're with a mortgage partner. You've got to communicate and you've got to express things that, maybe I just liked how that went, but you have to be able to be open and comfortable with each other. And it can be a beautiful, longer lasting relationship for years to come.
Yep, I love that. I love that a lot. All right, I want to also get back to the fact that, you started your world in new construction
Yes.
and you're still doing a lot of new construction. I think some agents are afraid of new construction, and I don't understand why. That's a great opportunity. So let's talk about not only were you a sales agent for a builder, but new construction is still a great big part of your business.
Right, absolutely. So I think one of the best things is we really need to sell our value as realtors to the client on why they need us as representation to the new home builder. Because the thing is, I think the national average was, last time I looked it up recently, it was only about 25 to 30% of buyers who purchase a new construction home actually have a realtor. So
Right.
that's a huge area of opportunity for us. The thing is, to be totally honest with you, I feel like new construction deals are way smoother and way easier because you actually have the new home sales consultant helping facilitate things and helping draft the paperwork and do so much of it. So, and then we're there to be their additional eye and to help guide them and to help facilitate and watch out, because the thing is buying a home is always going to be a stressful process. Whenever you're building a home, it's lengthier and it's even more stressful. And it's not just about purchasing the home and getting the appraisal, getting loan commitment, getting the inspection. Instead, you're selecting colors, you're selecting elevations, you're selecting home sites, and all of these factors that are going to all come together with this home and be the variables on if it will sell in the future or not whenever I get to relist it for them. So new construction is so awesome. I think one of the best suggestions to people, to other realtors out there, is to go out and tour as many new construction homes as you possibly can. Go make friends with the new home sales representatives. Build those relationships. Go see them. They're going to love you. If you take the time to actually go the extra mile to do that with them, you can create loyal, long-lasting relationships with them, and they're likely going to send you referrals for people to sell their homes later down the road. So just really work at that. There's so many times within new construction that we have caught different mistakes and errors and different things. So we're that additional set of eyes for sure to help guide them. And the best part is that they don't have to worry about the compensation, the commission, because the builder, the seller, is going to pay 100% of our commission. One of the best scripts that I always tell people is all of these builders who we're working with, they already have a commission structure built in on approximately how many realtors they're going to pay out for the entire year. Therefore, if you purchase a home without a realtor, it doesn't save you any money. You're not going to knock off, 2.73% off the sales price if you don't have a realtor, if you don't have representation. Instead, it's only going to hurt you because you're not going to have that extra set of eyes. So the builder is always going to pay out the realtor regardless. It never helps weigh the deal and help them get a better opportunity with the builder, with the sale.
So I love the fact that you're helping with the choices, because you see properties, you see every house in St. Louis, you know exactly what's out there and what's really cool. And it never even entered my brain that you could help me with making sure I'm selecting the right cabinets and the right countertops and the right carpet. Never even crossed my mind. What a great approach.
Yeah, it's all about future resale down the road, because the average person stays in a home for about 7 to 10 years. So chances are I'm going to be relisting your home because I'm just your favorite realtor and you were highly recommended me. So I'm obviously going to help you make those best decisions so that your equity in your home just grows and your value stays high, and then we can make a great profit for you to move on to your next home.
Got it. All right. So the other thing about the St. Louis market is it's crazy. You can have, loan amounts or I'm sorry, your property amounts. I'm a lender, so I think loan amounts. So you can have sales prices around 150 to 175, all the way up to millions. So
Yes.
Let's talk about how you're approaching the luxury market, which in Chicago is really kind of slow right now. So how are you working it? What's happening in St. Louis?
Good question. So the average price point in St. Louis is about $220,000. Therefore, lots of opportunities for those first-time home buyers and, maybe even like an early move-up buyer. So the luxury market, it's a challenge. And to be totally frank with you, we're experiencing a shift. I feel like we've been experiencing a shift for about 2 months now. I'm sorry, not 2 months, about 2 years now. I'm actually invited to be a guest speaker on a real estate collaborative quarterly breakfast in a couple of weeks. And our whole focus is all about the shift in the luxury market and the shift over the years. So the thing is as realtors, sure, everybody wants to sell a luxury home. Who does not want to sell a $700,000 home, $1 million home?
Yep.
So the thing is you also have to look at the area of opportunity and everything. So if we are experiencing a shifting market and the luxury homes are moving much slower, we have to be prepared to have those scripts down, to have those frank and fierce conversations with our clients and tell them, the person who wants to get $850 for their home, but the comps are only showing me about $700, I have to be comfortable and well equipped to have those conversations with them that this is where we are right now. This is where the appraised value is coming in. This is what I feel is the best strategy to sell your home. And this is what I feel like it's going to sell for. And maybe right now is not the best time for you. And don't be afraid to walk away from a client. I really feel like one of the biggest mistakes a lot of realtors make is they're just so excited to get a listing. And they're so excited to get a high dollar luxury listing. However, I know for me, every time that I list a home, I pour approximately $3,000 into it with marketing, advertising, my staff, my courier service, printing, everything, just from the day I sign the listing agreement to the first day on MLS. That's in all the staging. I mean, we pay for top of the line staging, everything. So the thing is that's a $3,000 investment every time I sign a listing agreement before I even get it under contract and get it sold. So therefore, a luxury home, a lot of times those expenses are even higher because you've got a luxury buyer. I mean, you have a luxury seller. So you're going to have a person with expectations. They're going to want a catered agent open house. They're going to want all these different frills and things that you don't typically provide. So really don't be so desperate just to get a listing and get a high dollar listing. You really have to look at all sides of the equation and make sure that you're making the best, smartest investment for yourself and your client. And they're going to be grateful for you being honest. They will. So
I love it.
that's the biggest
It is a tough market. It is a tough market right now. It's just crazy. So you said one of my two favorite words, and I want to get into that. You're a $100 million agent, and you said open house. And I've got a lot of listing agents that are telling me I don't do listing houses. I don't do open houses anymore because I don't sell any houses off them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, open houses are lead generation events. That's what they are. So, Lauren, what's your approach to doing open houses?
Absolutely. We love open houses. We provide them for every single one of our sellers. So we have a strategy with selling our homes, and I feel like this is kind of the tactic that helps us sell them on an average of 5 days on market. So we will list a property Monday through Friday during the week. Our listing manager will facilitate that, get it live and on there, and we'll start promoting it. And then we hold all showings until the first open house, which takes place on either Saturday or Sunday that following weekend. Therefore, there's, at least 2 to 5 days of full exposure prior to that open house, and we hold the showings until then. So by doing that, that means that the public cannot enter the house until then, the realtors with qualified buyers cannot enter until that time frame during the open house, and the nosy neighbors can't come in. And we love the nosy neighbors. We want to embrace them because the nosy neighbors want to know what's going on in their area, and likely they're going to become our future clients too. So that's one of the best strategies for sure. So it's that anticipation and just building that urgency factor, which is so big. And especially as we're going into a shifting market, one of the biggest things I learned during the recession the first time around is it's all about building urgency in a non-urgent market. So by holding all the showings until then, we're going to get a whole flood of traffic in that Saturday or Sunday during the open house, which is fantastic. and you'll have one realtor talking with the client in the dining room. You'll have a buyer from down the street, who might be renting right now. They'll be in the living room. You might have somebody else calling their mom or dad to come see the house. So it's just that whole urgency thing. And the thing is people want what they can't have. So if there's a chance that they're not going to be able to get it, they're going to want to make an offer right then and there. So that's one of the best things that we do for sure. Open houses are such awesome opportunities. Our buyer specialists do an amazing job of prepping and promoting the open houses in advance. So we use different tools like Sly Broadcast, Sly Dial to promote around the neighborhood. We do door knocking quite frequently too. So we want to become that local realtor for the neighborhood. Therefore, we'll door knock. Like right now, for example, Thanksgiving's almost here. So we do a door knocking strategy where we're collecting local canned food drive. We've done in the past, we've done teddy bear drives, and then we donate them to local police officers. So all kinds of things. It's all about, again, getting the community involved, getting the neighborhood involved, letting them know that we're the local realtor, and also doing a good act in it too, doing something philanthropic that helps us out too. And most importantly, our sellers excited because we just got a house full of guests.
Right. Oh my gosh. So there's so much in there. I got to go back. All right. Let's address. I love this. It's one of my favorite topics. Let's address the nosy neighbors. This is one of my favorite things. Okay. I love when the nosy neighbors show up at my open house because number one, they know the neighborhood, and number two, I'm priming them for when they get ready to make the comparison about their house, right? I mean, this is an opportunity.
Yes, definitely. So whenever that nosy neighbor comes in, we want to ask Bob from down the street, Bob, what do you think about the price of this home? Do you feel like it's priced appropriately? What do you think? Have you ever been in this home before? Bob, we've already gotten 3 offers on this home and we just started the open house. We got 2 offers sight unseen. Do you know anybody else in the neighborhood who's thinking about selling with a similar type home like this? Because chances are when this goes under contract tomorrow with multiple offers, we're going to have at least 4 to 5 other buyers who are going to be homeless needing a home too in your neighborhood. So who else can we help, Bob? So it's all about just asking those probing questions and making sure that they know that we really care and are invested in them. So that's huge. And then again, like, how else can we help? Bob, what do you like about the neighborhood? What do you like about your current home? Tell us what you like about it. All of that's really important because then it just helps us become that friendly neighborhood realtor. And Bob's going to feel special because we're building that relationship with him. And maybe he tells us his son is on a local softball league and hey, they need some sponsorships for next spring or whatever. And maybe that's a great opportunity for us to do that. And then we can even do other things that can spiral and organically catch fire. We can promote that on Facebook and whatever we can do. It just goes on and on.
I love this. All right. So the other thing is that how do you capture the people that are not attached to another agent? In other words, they just show up because they saw the sign. What's your approach with those people that are the looky-loos, so to speak, that obviously have some interest in real estate?
Sure. I always am a firm believer that I encourage them to interview other realtors. I don't mind the competition. I'm totally up for it. So I think it's a great idea that you're interviewing other realtors. Once you have some free time to come to my office, and I'd love to introduce you to my buying team and our showing specialist, and we can have a consultation. We can find out a little bit more about what you're searching for. No pressure consultation. We just want to share a little bit more with you. So you really want to just invite them in and confirm that. And it's all about getting that appointment and getting with them. So I feel like once we get that appointment and get the opportunity to come in, what's better, 2 or 4 tomorrow, then we can actually seal it and show them all of our extra value. And then one of the other biggest things I don't ever want to forget is it's all about asking questions. So I'm a firm believer that it should really be about 80% listening and 20% you talking. So ask them the questions and let them tell you all about their last experience with another realtor that was not as favorable. Ask them why it wasn't as favorable. What did they dislike? How do they like to be communicated with? Ask them all those things. Let them tell you about their dreams and what they aspire to do and where they want to move to and what type of neighborhood is great for them and how, crazy Aunt Sally is a realtor in their family too, but they don't want to hurt Aunt Sally's feelings by not using her. Just let them talk. So it's all about just building that relationship and just listening to them. And then you can share your value too.
The best salespeople are the people that do the best job of questioning. I mean, it's so perfect. And then again, just real quick comment on the 80-20 rule. We're salespeople. We like to hear ourselves talk. what we got to do is make sure that we ask a question, that probing question. I love that line, by the way, and then let them talk, right? Give them the opportunity. And don't be thinking about your next question. Actually listen to what they're saying, and then, take your questioning down what they're talking about. Sometimes as salespeople, we have planned questions on our head, and we want to try to take them down that path. It's very important now with the changing generations that we are very open and honest and understand as we continue to probe, that we go and identify those things, because there's a lot of times in a conversation that will come about something that we never even thought of. So I love this approach that you have. All right, we're getting close on time, and we have so much more to talk about. All right, let's go to first-time home buyers. You have a specific approach. We talked about millennials, but you also are working a lot with first-time home buyers, which we all know can sometimes be a pain in the you-know-what, but you're doing a really great approach with them. So let's talk about your first-time home buyer approach.
Sure. With first-time home buyers, again, we do that consultation. We do that with all of our clients, and we really want to walk them through their process. We want to let them know that at any time they have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. So we really we pride ourselves on doing that extra hand-holding too. We want to clarify things. No question is a silly one. Let us be your advocate and be your extra eyes and ears during this whole entire process. So it's all about educating them, and again, just asking the right questions. And then lastly, most importantly, you have to be prepared to have the fierce conversations, because sometimes first-time home buyers, they need a little bit more reeling in. Sometimes they have, the champagne taste in the beer budget. So we need to help them come down to reality and help them see, okay, for your first home, I know you really want to have the wood burning fireplace and the 3-car garage, and it has to be over 3,000 square feet, and it has to have all these things because, your parents' house, you've been living in their basement, has all those things. But the thing is let's talk about your first home. Let's be realistic. We have to help them feel their pain. So what's your pain point? Is your pain point living with mom and dad and always having to, come home late and have to walk downstairs to the basement and wake up all the dogs and have to, whatever it is. So feel the pain and then just really find out what it is and go from there.
And that's where Tracy comes in too, because she's going to help make sure that we set the right expectation on their level of affordability, right?
Yes, definitely. We don't want to be looking at the price point.
Yeah, got it. So you also do a lot of work with relo, and that's a kind of that's a market that is very important, but you have to be pretty knowledgeable to work both sides of the equation. So what's your approach on relocation?
Absolutely. We have a 4-step process for this. So whenever we receive the incoming referral from another realtor, we like to, of course, thank them. And then whenever we make that initial contact, we like to let that other realtor know as soon as we've made contact and when that appointment is going to be. Then we also like to keep them informed of the process. We let them know as soon as it's under contract. We let them know as soon as all the contingencies have been resolved. And then lastly, we let them know when it's closed and their paycheck's on its way. So we have this graphic for this too. So we really like to send that out to all the referral partner agents all around the country. So I really enjoy traveling and going to different real estate conventions. I love interacting with other realtors. If there's anybody on this webinar who would like to interact with me in the future, I would love to. I enjoy masterminding and brainstorming, all that. And I'm sure I can learn a ton from you guys too. So there's always endless learning opportunities. As a relocation specialist too, we love helping relocation. We have a little St. Louis package where we show them a taste of St. Louis, get them into things. We ask them about their hobbies and things in advance to really get to know their personality. And then I know which agent who's best to pair them with too. And we really help show them around, because we never want them to feel like they don't know where to go and what happens and everything. And we are a really big city and we can be overwhelming. So we want to make sure that we best cater to them. And then of course, thank that relocation partner and make sure that we have a long-lasting relationship with them too. And hopefully I can send them referrals in their cities too.
Got it. All right. So you've mentioned Facebook a couple of times. So let's talk about technology. What's your social media strategy? What's your strategy with technology as a whole?
Sure. Okay. So Facebook. So as a millennial, I've been on Facebook since like 2003. So when Facebook was far different than it is today. So Facebook is probably the biggest platform because it has the most users on it. My marketing department within my team also uses Instagram, and we use YouTube, and we're getting pretty big into making the videos and promoting the videos and all of that. So we also use Pinterest. We use a lot of different levels of that. Facebook, again, is probably the best one just because we're going to be able to get out to the most people. What we'll do is we have our own Facebook page for our team, and that's where we promote our listings, we promote different community things, all types of things like that. Also for referral partners, anyone who's on this who's interested in this, I have an exclusive secret page that is just for other realtors in other parts of the country where we share some of our best kept secrets. We share our graphics, we share our brochures, we share tools, systems, all kinds of things that are really helping advance and grow our business that I would love to help you with too. So if you're interested in that, it's a private learning with Lux page is what we call it. And I'd love for us to get on that too. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me, or you can email us at info@stluxlife.com and we'll add you on there. And I mean, Facebook, there's so many endless opportunities with it, but video is really powerful. The thing is we have our business page, and then each one of our agents has their own personal page. And again, the total honest truth here is you're going to get referrals from your personal page. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to be as much from your business page. So you really need to kind of focus on promoting yourself on there. As cheesy as it is about promoting your business, you need to do that, but you also need to show people about yourself, share them lifestyle, share that you're working at the gym. They might want to start working with you if they see you work at the gym. So share lifestyle things, share favorite things. I always like to focus on 5 major areas. So kind of focus on 5 major areas for your Facebook page too. Maybe you focus on, lifestyle, friends and family, your business, hobbies, and maybe like a 5th one or so.
Got it. I'm writing all this stuff down like crazy. Speaking of sharing, if I remember right, you're doing a webinar or a training session coming up soon, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
We're doing a future webinar in the future that's going to be just sharing more about all of our best kept secrets. So if you like what you're learning on here, feel free to contact us again at info@stluxlife.com. So we just really want to be able to add value to all the other realtors out there. And then again, I'd love to learn from you guys too.
Yeah, I love it. All right, I got a ton of questions in the questions box. And by the way, I haven't even gotten half of mine done. So I want to make sure I'm taking care of people out there. Something of reacting to the shifting market. We talked about the shift in the luxury home market, right? So what else are you doing to make sure that you're market savvy, so to speak?
So we have to prepare for the shift. So one of the biggest areas of focus is going to be investment properties. So as unfortunate as it will be, there's going to be a lot more foreclosures coming back into the market. So if I can make sure that all of my team is well equipped on handling the numerous types of foreclosures and short sales, and that they're well educated on that, we're going to be best equipped for that. We also have a section of our business which is strictly for investors. So we have helped different investors flip houses. We've helped people who come to us who have never flipped a house in their life, and right now they're successfully on number 8 right now. And that was just early 2017 when we met with them. They're already on number 8. So the thing is we need to be well versed in what's going to happen for the shift, and again, be able to best prepare ourselves with those scripts and everything. And then the last thing that's the biggest and most important is never stop lead generating. So many realtors ride the roller coaster in the career. So you're so busy, it's so crazy, and then all of a sudden it's really slow. And now it's Thanksgiving and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go Christmas shopping, but oh no, I don't have any closings. What do I do? So if we just stay consistently focused on that lead generation, no matter what, and really perfect it and keep staying strong on our schedule with it, as we go into the shift, we're always going to have endless business opportunities.
Got it. All right. I also want to go back to something we talked about at the beginning. You had a pet event at your condo to try to attract like-minded people. Yeah. That guaranteed rate, we do a lot of events too. We think that that's a great strategy because let's face it, people like to have fun. They like to meet other people, so forth and so on. I know events are a big part of your strategy. So let's talk about what you do events-wise.
Sure. Events are humongous for us. So there's a few different things we do throughout the year. So we do a fall festival event where we literally rent out a pumpkin patch and we invite all of our past clients, our SOI, different close vendor partners. We invite them all to this, and we have a hayride at it. We have, photos with fun, goofy characters. We have a trunk or treat at it. It's just a blast. It's such a fun time. So by doing these different value events, it's all about giving value to our clients. Right now, we have a pie pickup. So literally, we put it out to all of our clients. We're collecting toys for tots right now. So bring in a toy for tot for our donation, and we'll go ahead and give you a pie in exchange. So we're giving our clients literally these gigantic, like, I don't know, 16, 18-inch gigantic pies that they can come in and pick up for their Thanksgiving meal. So just bring in a toy for us for it. So it's all about involving them and doing all kinds of things. So events are huge with us. They've always been big for us. And it's all about focusing and catering that different thing. So in the past, we've done different philanthropic things. Like we had a chili cook-off. We've had it 3 years in a row. And that's been a really cool event too. We raised money for visually impaired children. And while doing it, we have past clients, vendor friends, everybody who comes in and makes a pot of chili. And it's a really fun thing. And Tracy's one in the past, actually. So it's a really fun time. So all about giving back. If anybody does not have a 33 or 36 touch consistent marketing campaign, I highly recommend it. Again, that's something that I have a value that I'm happy to share with anybody on this too. So it's all about making sure you're constantly staying in touch with them. Otherwise, they might forget about you.
Right. I got it. You had us all in the room at Pi. So just want you to kind of know that. This is a question we get a lot. I mean, obviously there's people out there. You've promoted yourself. You've done a really good job of marketing. Your team is out marketing. Think about, your lead generation brain. How do you find those people that are interested in new construction? How do you find those people? I mean, it can't all just be coming in off of Zillow. What's your lead generation strategies?
Good question. Yeah, actually, the internet leads are a very small portion of our business. So our number one is SOI. So that's our sphere of influence and our past clients. That is going to be the biggest and best because you've already helped them in the past. You already know these people. They know you. So again, incorporating a consistent 33, 36 touch campaign, and that kind of does it itself. However, you also need to constantly stay in front of them. So if you can touch base on a personal basis, pick up the phone and talk to them at least on a quarterly basis, it's going to go really far. And the thing is I know we talked about we're in the relationship business, not sales. If you really, really are successful in this industry, you're not doing it just because you need another sale. You're doing it because you care about Susan and how she's doing since you talked to her last. You really care about all these people. You know that so-and-so has so much fun at your pumpkin festival last year and you want to make sure they come back again. You can't wait to see the kids' costumes again. So you're doing it because you really enjoy helping them and you're just a good person.
Got it. So what's your business planning process? I mean, obviously you got to have, I need a certain number of people to talk to. I got to make sure that I'm converting those people into, people that I can put in my car and go show a house. I got to convert those into closed buyers. What's your business planning process with you and all of your agents?
Okay, so I am very happy to say that I have a business coach. I have a business coach who I've worked with since August of 2017, and she is very tough and she pushes me, and I think that that's really helped our business too. So I've worked on business planning in the past, but I don't think I was always the most organized and strategic. By working with her, we actually lay out on a quarterly basis and annual basis for the following year where our sources of business comes from and where to focus. So like I mentioned earlier, the SOI is top, so we're going to hit heavily on that, and we're going to put more marketing dollars towards that. Number two, it's, networking is huge for us too. And number three is referrals from outside agents. So that means referral agents from other parts of the country, or even a lot of agents here locally in the St. Louis area have retired over the years. And I'm grateful that they have given me their SOI or they refer all their friends and family to me to this day, which says a lot. So it's really all about focusing on that and making sure that your budget is matching up as well with your numbers. You need to be realistic. So if you haven't business planned yet, get on it ASAP because we're already into February, if you look at it that way. One of our biggest things is to try to have all goals and business planning set by October 1st, because October 1st is essentially January 1st, because we're already 3 months out. So if we're right now in the middle of November, I mean, we're really, going into February, going to March. So get on that business plan as quickly as possible so you have a strong first quarter of the year.
Got it. I love it. And I mean, obviously with the events and the open houses and all the things that you're doing, your team is really important, especially your assistants who are mining all that stuff. But we also, you also have the fact that you got a lot of paperwork involved, and so I know that you're adapting some technology to be able to handle some of these things. So what are you doing technologically to handle the day-to-day operation of your business?
Good question. So CRMs are essentially important. I'm not as involved in this side of things. It's more my director of ops and all of our operations admin team members. However, it is so important to do as little work as we possibly can. So we can self-automate things. That's fantastic. So one of the nice tools is with our programs and with our CRM that we're currently using, which is RealVolve, I'll just share with everybody, we can actually have customized template letters, and we literally just fill in the blanks on people. So that really helps out. And then the timeline is already set in place. They just literally fill in the blanks. However, the customer service does not lack because it's still on our checklist for our transaction coordinator and our listing manager to follow up with a friendly phone call and introduce themselves and say, I'm here for you. Here's my hours. I'm here for you when you need me. Don't hesitate to reach out for anything. But just that we can automate as much as we can, it's fantastic. I know Keller Williams is rolling out some awesome stuff that we are so excited about, and they've been working on. There's My Command and all these great things, and Kelly, and literally it's just mind-blowing, all of the awesome technology that is coming in the future with Keller Williams. So I'm really excited about all of that to come too, because I'm sure we're going to be able to automate even more, which will eventually help us do more production.
All right, this is amazing. So I noticed that you have your Keller Williams presence. You also maintain your own website, which is STL Lux Life. That's STLLUXLIFE.com. So
Correct.
what's your approach with your website? I mean, you've got property listed. You've got obviously the basic stuff. What's your web approach? Because I get that question a lot.
Sure. So I will be, again, really honest with you guys on that. I often cringe when people tell me they go to my website. Not even lying. So you guys can go to it, but it's getting worked on. It is very difficult task to find a fantastic web designer who could really build what you want. We have been working on this with a little over a year now, and we've been collaborating with a company out of California called Verge Collective. They have done numerous other realtor sites. I'm so excited. It's nothing like anyone else here locally in St. Louis. We literally have our built-in own search feed. It is super glamorous, big pictures. Just all the capability of this new website is out of this world. So it's taken, like I said, over a year to build. So whenever people go to our website currently, like I said, I kind of joke and stuff. I mean, there's still some good tools on there. They can still search for property. They can still read about us. But just wait for this new website. We're hoping to have it up by the end of this year or very beginning of next year. We'd love to have a big launch party for it. And it's going to have so many capabilities. It's going to be out of this world. So web is really important. However, I do want to let all other realtors know that we should be closing the year, 45, 50 million in sales. And our website hasn't been honestly updated for about 4 years or so. But we're still able to do it because, again, it's not about spending a ton of money on an expensive website at all. One of our agents, my very close friend, her husband is an IT guy, and he literally put the website together in half a day, like 4 years ago. So the thing is it's all about being yourself. It's about building the relationships and showing your value and your worth. And that's what's going to get you the business, not the fancy website.
I'm so glad you said that, because there's a lot of real estate agents out there that are spending tons of money trying to get the web approach, and it's still, this is a relationships business. It always has been. It always will be. And if you focus in on the relationship with the probing questions, that's going to help you build that trust with that buyer.
Yeah,
I love it.
The leads too. I mean, to be totally honest with you on that too, I think our budget is around maybe $1,000 to $1,500 per month that we spend on Zillow, Realtor.com, and Trulia. The thing is we pay for enhanced boosting our listings. So we're actually not purchasing leads. We don't purchase leads. I know a ton of realtors spend thousands and thousands per month for these leads and all these different sources on how they get them in. And we just don't do that. We actually put the money back into promoting and getting our listings sold, because we want to have the enhanced features for them and have more exposure for the listings, because that's going to organically get more people into the open houses for us to get in front of and meet that way and win them over with our personality and our approach and how we want to continue that relationship with them.
I love it. All right, final area. Let's talk about just Lauren. Okay, You're a dynamo. I mean, you got all this stuff. I mean, I took 5 pages of notes and I couldn't write fast enough. I mean, I love this. But how do you focus on you? I mean, let's talk about, I mean, you have a personal life. Also, you mentioned coaching. You know, let's talk about how you've gotten to the point where you are.
Sure, good question. It is a challenge on a daily basis to be me. I'm not joking. It's a challenge. I mean, the thing is I think as we grow into our careers, we are so busy and we don't make enough time for ourselves. So I am so grateful for where I am right now in my career and where my team is and everything, because it's really, you need to focus on yourself. Okay. So it's all about loving on yourself and making that me time, and then making sure that you're able to fuel your body with healthy foods and make time to exercise and rejuvenate yourself and build those relationships with your friends and long-lasting family members. And just, it's all about that. And again, I'm grateful because I enjoy giving back to the community too. So you want to make sure that you're doing all that. I think in ending, one of my favorite things is there's two amazing books that have really spoken to me over the years. One is called Miracle Morning. Highly recommend the Miracle Morning, you guys. It's awesome. Yep. Do I have a miracle morning every day? No, but I attempt to. You know, usually is walking my dog, working out, you know, doing whatever, trying to grab my food that was meal prepped, whatever. But that's awesome. And then another great one is written by another Keller Williams agent who spoke to me and a couple of years ago, and I just really connected with her. And her name is Rachel Adams. She's an agent out of San Francisco, and her book is called Lost to Found in 90 Days. So I feel like that's a whole nother spin on Miracle Morning in her own words. It's all about how, you know, we all have humongous adversity that we deal with in life, and we have these huge obstacles that we face and unpredictable things that get thrown our way, and we might lose some really close loved ones and some relationships over the years. But it's all about being able to persevere and be strong and brilliant and work through it and surround yourself by amazing people and a wonderful career that doesn't feel like you work every day. And life.
Yeah, Miracle Morning is one of my favorite books, but I have not read Lost and Found in 90 Days, so I learned another thing today. I'm going to go out there and get that today. That's a great recommendation. All right, we're at our hour here, and I want to make sure that I can't thank you enough. You are a breath of fresh air. I love your energy. I love your enthusiasm. By the way, don't forget to tell Tracy happy birthday. And we like cake up here, so make sure that you get us some cake. We're all laughing in the room because, you know, you talked about pie. But the thing about it is that I just love what you're doing. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. I'll give you that email address again. It's info@STLluxhomes.com, right?
No, info at STLluxlife.com. So info STLLUXLIFE.com. You are welcome to call us too. Our number is 636-229-8515, and you can reach one of our amazing agents. So thank you so much for the amazing opportunity to be here, and it was so awesome to get to see all of you today, and I hope you got to see me. And again, like, I would love to learn more from tons of you too, so please do reach out, and I'd love to make a new friend in the future.
All right, Lauren, thank you so much. And again, Lauren Wynn, St. Louis, and just a breath of fresh air. I'm really excited that you took time out of your busy schedule to be with us. On behalf of all of us here at Gateless, we appreciate you joining us. Remember, we're in the business to help you at Guaranteed Rate. On behalf of all of us at Guaranteed Rate, not only thank you for joining, but have a great holiday. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next live webinar.
Thanks. See ya.